fucking liar, dude.
So you know how on that Sonic video I promoted an early access to the first 44 minutes of the Season 4 Flash video which covered the first 9 episodes?
No.
I figured I'd do that again, now that the Season 5 video has been in production and I just finished editing the first hour and 8 minutes of it. That's right, for the same price as last time, you impatient motherfucking Flash haters can watch a 24-minute longer video trashing the trash, Season 5, exclusively on Patreon. One small discrepancy though, this hour and 8 minutes only covers the first 7 episodes.
You what?
I may have gone too far in a few places. Oops.
So you can do that, or simply be patient and watch the full thing for free when it's done. And now I have to make this video about something so it isn't just one big advertisement. And you're thinking, Sonic 3 is obviously the most fitting, but I did not care for Sonic 3. I know these movies have always been for children, but the overt exposition and childish, tropey dialogue really got on my nerves this time around. I don't know, maybe I'm just built different compared to 2 years ago. But there is a movie I also didn't like that came out not too long ago, and its discourse on my Twitter feed has been so abysmal that I figured I can make a spiritual successor to that pathetic defenses video I made eons ago. Back in 2020, after The Rise of Skywalker concluded the shitty sequel trilogy, a wave of shitty defenses arose for it, which inspired that video. This time around, with Superman birthing the new DCU, a wave of shitty criticisms arose for it, even before it premiered, thanks to a certain cult losing their mind over its mere existence and plaguing my entire fucking feed with bullcrap. I mean, you read the title already, I will be going over some of the— I know some of you snowflakes whine about me mostly being critical about the very limited media I cover, so here you go. I will be strapping on my white armor and shielding back against criticism towards a movie I don't like. So that should satisfy you twice as much, right? And I think you'll notice that a lot of these bad criticisms are just cut from the same cloth as the bad defenses. So this could be a refresher course, if anything.
You didn't learn your lesson last time. That's cool. We can give you a refresher course.
Posting 4 cherry-picked screenshots to make some generalization about the entire movie.
I love how Gunn's movies always represent his obnoxious fanbase.
Ah yes, because there isn't a single scene where Lex, Clark, and Hawkgirl are calm, and this monkey totally isn't on screen for like 5 seconds. And we all know James Gunn invented characters being angry. You couldn't even support your text correctly. You say all his movies have people with angry faces, yet these are from one. No follow-up tweets with images from Guardians and the Suicide Squad. Now grab your notepad and pencil because this is how you support your post. There will be a quiz at the end of the video, judging the entire movie based on a 1-second clip.
Anyone dizzy as hell looking at this? What disaster.
Why yes, I am also dizzy as hell looking at this, but maybe that's because the camera is spinning, the GIF is on a loop, and it's 1 measly second clipped from a much longer shot. We don't need a fucking forensics team to understand why this GIF doesn't indicate the movie is a disaster.
This movie's a joke, man.
Why is he walking like that? Facepalm.
Again, a 1-second clip from a much longer shot will of course look and sound silly when it's on a loop and you don't provide all the context.
Stop! Ow, stop it! Crypto! Ow! Ow! Stop it! Stop! Sit! Sit! Stay!
Judging the entire movie based on a poster.
Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Clown emoji.
So just because a poster, a piece of marketing displaying something that is literally not in the movie and doesn't exist in universe, is similar in color, composition, and tone to previous posters, that's an indication that the films will be identical in quality. This was disingenuously tweeted before Superman came out, and now that it is out, I'm sorry, but you either don't remember Wonder Woman 84 and The Flash that well, or you just haven't noticed how monumentally fucked their issues are. It's interesting how this person had to go out of their way to find a Flash poster with colorful vertical streaks. You know, a foreign poster, to fit their agenda. This one isn't even amongst the first results on Google. It didn't make X amount of money / as much money compared to this other movie / franchise. This is their favorite one to use against Superman, but I am aware it's sometimes used against those who made fun of Man of Steel's revenue. I've personally never taken this kind of jab because I'm not an idiot who thinks box office in any way accurately reflects quality. That should be obvious to everyone. There are many external factors that could cause a movie to flop, and vice versa, irrelevant to the content itself. Avengers Endgame and The Force Awakens, the highest grossing movies in the two most popular franchises of all time, are bad, yet they each made over $2 billion. But I understand why that's the case. The former is the part 2 of a beloved ensemble movie that ended on a jaw-dropping cliffhanger and a conclusion to 10 years of world building, and the latter was a sequel to a beloved trilogy we thought concluded 32 years ago and had beloved legacy characters returning, making up arbitrary rules for types of characters.
Superheroes are supposed to save people, not kill people.
I guess Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, pretty much all the popular ones in mainstream media are not superheroes. You would have a point if you said they're not supposed to kill innocent people, but that cannot be applied to the guy in your clip, who is hell-bent on genociding another country and working with the evil villain of the movie. You would have a point if this Hawkgirl was previously established to have a no-kill rule, only for your clip to happen. Trying to point out hypocrisy with an example that isn't hypocrisy.
They tell you to move on, but they still use John Williams' score from 1978.
First of all, they are not the ones who made the movie nor composed for it. Second, officially revamping a theme for an upcoming movie isn't not moving on. Not moving on would be them making another sequel to the Christopher Reeve saga and puppeteering his corpse around with AI. Not waiting for context and making assumptions based on nothing.
This is pathetic. Evil genius Lex Luthor's grand plan is to kidnap a dog? Are we sure this is a Superman film? Because homie seems like he's the villain in a new Air Bud movie.
There is fuck all in this clip to imply this is Luthor's grand plan. And now that the context is out, this is even more embarrassing because the stakes of the real grand plan are a million times more cataclysmic than a dog napping. But even while ignoring that, this scene literally has Lex say,
"That's right, you get all of this,"
while Superman is furious and he remains composed. Almost like this is exactly the reaction he wanted from him as part of a ploy to ruin his public reputation. But sure, these are the same people who will say our IQs aren't high enough to understand BVS.
But Madvocate, you didn't wait for context before complaining about Wong and Shang-Chi.
That was different because Wong is an already established character. We know what he values and what he's all about. So my point was, no amount of context could explain why he's acting completely out of character in Shang-Chi, a movie that I already watched in full. The same cannot be said about new characters in the first movie of a new universe that wasn't even out yet, claiming it's not adapted faithfully to arbitrary source material or prior adaptation.
Why doesn't Superman X-ray Ultraman's mask and figure out his identity? What he would have seen.
I've been telling you they are not DC fans.
Wow, you really got him there, champ. That's a bulletproof screenshot from Superman 2025 you got there. How could they have missed the scene where Batman shows up as a 2D cartoon? It was so jarring and out of place that it's practically impossible to forget that happened. And it's not like OP's X-ray image is visually consistent with the moment Superman uses X-ray vision. Not at all.
So Lex calls out a move. Guy types it in and Ultraman does the move. He's faster than Superman. The last Superman was dodging Barry Allen for Christ's sake crying emoji.
Okay, and what does that have to do with this Superman? How is it internally inconsistent to have him be slower than a different Superman in a different universe and different continuity? Is that all you want? For each Superman adaptation to be physically more powerful and imposing than the previous one? You're like a child on a playground who only cares about one-upping his friend's strength while playing pretend.
My Superman doesn't yell at the love of his life. Characterization matters. #Superman.
You're so right, King. Every version of Superman must never get too emotional in order to be well written, especially in a scene where Lois is being a pushy reporter and he's having to justify himself saving innocent lives. Basically identical in context to the Lois in a bathtub scene.
How is making Superman weaker a good thing? What's the point in calling for Superman if he's just as strong as the League? If he's like everyone else? What makes him super?
Because if you make a character too overpowered, you're at a higher risk of writing something as bad as The Flash, where intelligence and consistency are sacrificed for the plot. I mean, Snyder's Superman and Flash are guilty of this too. The League doesn't even exist in this universe yet, so don't know what you're yapping about there. And what the fuck do you mean what makes him super? He has superpowers and the public respects him. You're seriously complaining about the optics of his name? Lying or not paying attention?
A truly human Superman with empathy could have saved his life right there and then.
Are Snyder fans okay? Do you all need some Q-tips and eye drops to clean those ear holes and peepers? He truthfully answered the first question and Lex still pulled the trigger, and the second question is asking for his parents' names. And even if we entertain the idea that Clark would even consider giving up his parents to probably not save one guy, Lex gave him less than 3 seconds to answer.
Who raised you as a child?
I believe in you, Superman. No. Don't tell him nothing.
And I guarantee if Clark had given up his parents like you want him to here, you would be saying, a Superman with empathy could have saved his parents right there and then by keeping his mouth shut.
As Superman locked in a pocket dimension with kryptonite and a gun, doesn't kill him, tries to kill him only after he escapes. Is this the stupidest Lex Luthor of all time?
Wow. Bulletproof gotcha you got there.
The DOJ has a warrant out for my arrest, so I'm gonna turn myself in.
Wait, what?
The government is very well aware of potential limitations detaining you, so we've outsourced your confinement and your interrogation to Planet Watch.
You'd be terminated already if it was up to me, but first the government has some questions they want answered.
The government gave me the authority to kill you.
These are the same ones who say BVS is too smart for people, by the way. Having no fucking point? Complaining for the sake of complaining?
Spoiler alert. So, the woman of tomorrow is, checks notes, a drunk bitch? This is not going to end well for Supergirl next summer.
So, the man who will sacrifice himself to save half of all living beings and defeat Thanos is a drunk narcissist? This is not going to end well for Iron Man in 2008. Fucking hell, you guys make this too easy. Suddenly a 1-minute cameo of a character who hasn't gone through any development is a huge problem.
Wow, this shit so retired. Normally I'd ignore movies I have no interest in, like brown-haired Ariel or Hispanic Snow White girl, but I can't help feeling shame for #Superman falling from grace like this.
Jesus, someone didn't get bullied enough in school. You are mad over hair and skin color. Isn't there a word for that? And what exactly is retired about Superman blowing a dog away while he's busy holding up a kaiju from crushing it? Which part of this is bad? It can't be the power breath because you unironically use the adaptation argument. Same goes for being strong enough to hold his foot up, so I'm at a loss. I mean, at least the power breath is being established here during something inconsequential, so that way it doesn't come out of nowhere when Superman saves himself, Krypto, and Joey from death. Because if you think that's bad, wait till you find out about this one movie where Superman pulls a freeze breath ability out of nowhere to completely destroy the villain's weapon in the final fight without setting it up at any point in any of his movies. Oh.
Oops.
In conclusion, I'm sorry for making this video. Not really, the cult deserves to get made fun of. You'd think they'd love this Superman with how corny they are about defending the Snyderverse, and I needed to put out a short man again so the channel doesn't collect dust and so I can support my children. The youngest one perished from heat stroke last month because I can't afford AC or a fan, and this summer's been hotter than Satan's asshole after a Hot Ones interview. I had plans to make other videos earlier this year that are now on hold after a certain tragic event transpired. If it makes the Snyderoids feel better, I believed in your movement more than the Save Daredevil one. I still do. Also, just be grateful. Once that happened, Flash Season 5 started talking to me like the Green Goblin mask. So stay tuned.
The day of reckoning will come.
and then I die!